Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to sing a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild. Aquadam.net. Give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, having to deal with the insurance company, not to mention the memories that are lost that you can never replace. To those who live in flood-prone and hurricane-prone areas, which is just around the corner, prepare now. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Visit Aquadam.net to see how they can help you prepare to avoid flood damage this season and every season thereafter. An Aquadam can be another tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. A cofferdam, using water to control water, that can protect your home, your business, your church, your neighborhood, like a dam, but without the beavers. Give Aquadam a call at 707-764-2119, 707-764-2119, or look them up online at aquadam.net. They're also on Facebook at Aquadam Inc., or call or email them today. They can help you out. Give them a call. Tell them Opperman Report sent you. Opperman Report, that's 10% off the price to anyone who mentions the Opperman Report.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. If you like the show, check out OppermanReport.com. I have some new stuff going up there at this interview I did with this gentleman who was lived with a cult for the majority of his adult life. He took all his possessions and stuff, worked for like a slave his whole life. $1 million worth of labor. It's going up in there. It's you know that show I've been playing, the so-called Prophet of Pittsburgh. This is one of the guys who lived in that cult. I interviewed him quite a while ago, and we've been holding it back for a certain reason. But it's going up in the member section shortly. Also, too, all of those videos, interviews that I did the past few weeks on that live podcast I was doing on Thursday nights, I am no longer doing. Nobody could sign up to that website and get through. So what we're going to do is I'll just put those videos in the member section. I got like 4 of them. But that's it. I give up. Okay, I can't be, somebody's tech support. I have people contact me every 5 minutes. How do I log in? How do I log in? How do I log in? It's just too much of a headache. Let's see. As always, our archives are free, and you could find them at Spreaker.com. I got a show for you tonight. I'm going to tell you some stuff tonight that no one's talking about anywhere, and it's just the craziest story going on right before our eyes. But before I get to that, a little personal news. My daughter Victoria got her first year grade point average is a 3.8, successful grade point average, and she's gotten 2 internships, one with a congressional candidate and another one at a radio station. So she's doing really, really good. And this congressional candidate, who's in the House right now, they're really excited with her work, and I'm really proud of her. So take your hats off to good old Victoria there. Did a show last week. Oh, let me tell you what I got coming up first. Oh, I was on Sean Atwood. Sean Atwood interviewed me, and he's playing it this week coming up on his YouTube channel. Now, and then what else do I have coming up? Ann Penn with her theory about the Zodiac Killer. Hank Harrison. Tape with Hank Harrison today. And I'm taping this week, in fact, Sunday I'm taping. Oh, boy. With Charlotte Iserbyt, who wrote that book, The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. And she was like the head of the Department of Education, I think, under Reagan or something like that. So there's a lot of good content coming up. You can always count on good old Ed Opperman to put in the work. Last week I did a show called Out of Shadows, Out of Your Depth. And I got a huge response to that show. It was basically about that new documentary film that came out by this guy Mike Smith, who was a stunt man, And I gave my critique and my personal information about the things he's talking about, my firsthand work on some of these cases. And it struck a nerve with quite a few people. Most people agreed with me. In fact, I don't think I got one dissenting opinion. And I was contacted by a very well-known YouTuber who knows all these characters. He knows Cronkite. He knows the CIA guy that was on there. And he knew about the production of this film, and other people were involved in the production of this film. And he wanted me to come on a show, or he wanted to come on my show and do an interview. I kind of turned it down because he's like one of his controversial figure who seems to get into disputes, a lot of public disputes with people. So the last thing I need is, to join myself with this gentleman, and then find, a week later he's attacking me for some reason. He's upset with me now. Okay, so I don't need that. But it was just interesting that he knows these people firsthand, and he can confirm my conclusions about them, and he would know. Okay, so I was talking about Out of the Shadows, and in Out of the Shadows, one of my main complaints was the inclusion of Rudy Giuliani as someone who would be a source of anti-pedophilia. And one thing that I forgot to include is you got to look up Rudy Giuliani's current. She's not a spokesperson. She's a director of communications for Giuliani's law firm. And it's a young lady who's an Instagram star. These are her main credentials. She's an Instagram star. And her name is Christiane Allen. Okay, and if you just Google Christiane Allen, Giuliani, it'll pop up right next to it, and you'll see all the articles that came up about this young lady who got involved in this right-wing conservative politics at the age of 15 years old. And she became Rudy Giuliani's director of communications at 19 years old, with her only background being that she was an Instagram model. And if you read, there's a couple of articles out there, political and stuff like that. You want to check them out. And you'll see this young lady on boats and yachts with Mr. Giuliani and hanging out in bars and restaurants with glasses that appear to be wine in front of her and things like that. So interesting choice of company for both Mr. Giuliani and this young lady, who's my daughter's age, by the way. I mean, in fact, my daughter's might be older than her. Okay. And, my kid's a sharp kid. She's not qualified to be director of communications. All right. Now, speaking of Giuliani, speaking of Rudy Giuliani, we got something going on here. Right under our noses. Okay? And I think it's the story of the decade. And how it goes like this. Everyone knows about this failed invasion attempt this week. Maybe not everybody knows. Of these guys trying to pull off an amateur coup in Venezuela. And a lot has come out that two of the guys were ex-Green Berets and one guy was an ex-DEA agent. And that's pretty much it. Chuckle. Look at it, that little invasion attempt, a little coup attempt there where they're going to go down there and kidnap Maduro and bring him back, collect this reward, this $55 million reward that Mr. Barr put up for the president of a sovereign nation. Right? But nowhere, well, hardly nowhere, are people talking about the deeper connections in all this. It's a fascinating story. Now, everything I'm giving you, about 90% of what I'm giving you today is all open source information that you can find in publications. Some of it's in Spanish. And I was able to decipher because some of it was sent to me by Doug Valentine, who wrote the book about the Phoenix program. Okay? It kind of starts like this. Okay. Now, and now the timeline of this part, I'm a little sketchy on, but we know for a fact that Rudy Giuliani, Mr. Trump's personal attorney, went out and picked up a client who is known as a Venezuelan energy executive, Alejandro Betancourt Lopez. And he hired Giuliani because he was having some problems with the U.S. Justice Department. They were investigating him for money laundering, for laundering drug money. $1.2 billion in drug money. Okay? So Mr. Betancourt Lopez is being investigated, and he goes right to the top. Let me hire the President of the United States. I'm the biggest drug launderer in town. Let me hire the best lawyer who happens to be the President of the United States lawyer. Later on down the road, in late 2018, it comes out that Mr. Giuliani, the president's attorney, at the facilitated by who's this guy? Pete Sessions, right? Congressman Pete Sessions facilitates a phone call between Giuliani and Maduro, the president of Venezuela, where Giuliani, sources say, representing business interests, not the USA interests, business interests, tries to work out a deal with Maduro to leave office, assuming, there was a cash offer. Who knows what other offers were made or threats were made. And now it's interesting that Rudy Giuliani, acting as he's the president's personal attorney in some bizarre capacity. Okay? Just like Mr. Cohen. But he's president's personal attorney, and he's negotiating in this quasi foreign policy capacity, trying to get a sovereign nation's president to step down, an elected president, on behalf of certain business interests. And we know that one of his clients is a Venezuelan energy executive alleged to be laundering $1.2 billion drug money. Okay? Now, by the way, Rudy Giuliani's personal motivations for this negotiation conflicted with our stated public national foreign policy that was being run by Mr. Bolton at the time. Remember the guy with the mustache? Okay. Fast forward. We got a global pandemic. There's a global pandemic. Everybody got to wear masks, got to stand 6 feet apart. You go to 7-Eleven, they got plastic being put up all over the place. Selling, but, footprints, stand here, don't get too close. Arrows on the floor in the supermarkets. Got to walk this way, got to walk that way. Ventilators, we need ventilators. Right? Listen to Mr. Cuomo there. Right? Global pandemic, pretty serious business. But not so serious that Mr. Barr, U.S. Attorney General, doesn't have time to lay out these indictments against President Maduro, sovereign nation, duly elected president, and lay out some indictments alleging drug smuggling, conspiracy, and all these kind of crimes against him and 10 of his top people. We got time for that. It's a pandemic. It's a pretty serious business. Shut down the whole economy. But we still got time to go after these 10 big drug dealers. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people out there will say, oh, Ed, you're just bashing Mr. Trump. You have Trump derangement syndrome. Okay? And you're always bashing Mr. Trump. Not one word I've told you up till now is inaccurate. It's all public source information. Nobody's denying it so far. This week, a group of characters, okay, launch an operation. 50 guys, by the way, okay, 50 mercenaries. And then there was supposedly another 50 state guys that were in Venezuela, embedded in Venezuela. Fifth columnists, they call them. A seaborne assault group, and it's codenamed Operation Gideon. And from neighboring Colombia, they launch a naval assault using these Zodiac boats, these rafts, right? And they're gonna go in there, 100 guys tops, right? And they're gonna go in there and they're gonna capture Maduro and bring him back to the United States and collect $55 million in reward, which was being offered by Attorney General William Barr, who, by the way, we should all know, got his start in the CIA. His first job in government was CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. It is rumored and alleged and confirmed by many, many people that he was up to his neck in Iran-Contra. Okay? Iran-Contra, drug smuggling, right? Went on with there, Barry Seal. Done 100 shows about that, right? That's William Barr. But William Barr's has seen the light. Now he's going to shut down drug smuggling, international drug smuggling. He's against it now. Okay? All right? And it's indictments against these Maduro, these nasty socialists. I'll take them down. Now, this was a total failure. This operation was a total disaster, total failure. As a matter of fact, the second launch of these the sea-bearing pirates, in their little inflatable rafts, was put down by a group of local angry, irate fishermen. Took on these guys. Local fishermen see these boats coming at them, these mercenaries, and they take them down. Yes, fishermen. Maduro comes out successful in putting down this coup attempt, this kidnapping attempt, and he goes on TV and he holds up U.S. passports of 2 ex-Green Berets and a retired DEA agent. He says things like the United States government is fully equipped, is fully and completely involved in this defeated raid, and they went on to blame Colombia as well. Now, one of these captured Green Berets, a man by the name of Arian Perry, A-I-R-A-N, Berry, B-E-R-R-Y, turns out was a follower of QAnon on Twitter. There's a gentleman in all this that put this whole thing together, named Goudreau. And Goudreau owned a Florida-based company called Silvercorp USA. And both Barry, the QAnon guy who was captured, and the other American captured, Luke Denman, both worked as private contractors under Goudreau and his Florida company, Silvercorp USA, as security guards, private security, mercenaries, hired guns for Silvercorp USA. As bizarre as it sounds, Silvercorp USA was first created in order to provide, how do they describe this? Counter-terror agents to schools in the United States. Undercover guys pretending to be teachers working at these schools in case shooters come and attack this, student shooters, school shooters they call it, right? They're planting undercover mercenaries in schools in case a school shooter shows up. Okay? These same guys who just went down there to Venezuela and tried to overthrow the government, they want in your schools. Think of that. Around your little kids. Hey, this is an incredible story, man. Silvercorp, this company that wants to put armed thugs in schools, that just launched, and were captured red-handed. It's not like this is a secret. And were captured red-handed trying to overthrow the government of Venezuela. Do you know what else they do? Do you know what else this company does? They provide security at Trump rallies. This company is President Donald Trump's personal security firm for his campaign rallies. At the same time, they're trying to overthrow Maduro. At the same time that President Mr. Trump's personal attorney is trying to remove Maduro at the behest of businessmen, business interests. And who are those business interests? Well, one of them is a client of Rudy Giuliani, happened to be Venezuelan, happens to be on the hook for $120 billion in drug laundering money. Picking up a pattern here? Because it gets better. It gets better. I hate Ed. You hate Mr. Trump. That's why you're saying these things. It's all a lie. It's all made up. It's deep state. Deep state. Everyone here so far is CIA, FBI, DEA. Okay, these are as deep state as you can get. Got Bill Barr, deep state, going back to Iran-Contra. Rudy Giuliani. Get any more deeper than that? What? September 11th, 2000, New York City. Get deeper than that. Come back. Find somebody deeper than that and get back to me. Now, Goudreau and his Silvercorp USA. Now, how did he get involved in Venezuela and down there, Colombia? Well, controlling chaos. Operation Controlling Chaos. Now, what was Operation Controlling Chaos? This was a concert that was put on by British billionaire Richard Branson on the Venezuelan-Colombian border. He's raising money for Goudreau to overthrow Venezuela. Richard Branson. And who's he bringing for security for that? Operation Controlling Chaos, Mr. Goudreau. Silvercorp USA, President Trump's personal security company that he uses for his rallies. By the way, we've all heard some of the rumors about Mr. Branson. Okay? When you hear about billionaires with planes and islands. You'd think I'm making this up. This is all real. It's going on this week and no one's talking about it. No one. Now, how did Mr. Goudreau and Silvercorp, how did he get in the mix of all this? How did he get introduced to Goudreau and all these characters down in Venezuela? Well, he had somehow gotten introduced to Keith Schiller, President Trump's longtime bodyguard. Keith Schiller, NYPD Keith Schiller. I've mentioned the name Keith Schiller before, okay? My business partner and best friend was NYPD Harbor Aviation. We had gone into a little PI business together, doing background reports for UPS. And we wanted to hire some other New York cops. And Keith Schiller owned ran somehow. He was an active duty cop. I don't know if he pulled this off. But he had a business on the side, I guess, somehow, where he was hiring cops to do off-duty security by the hundreds, by the thousands, okay? Providing side income to thousands of New York City cops. He was doing it for a real estate magnate in New York City. He ran the Fisher Foundation, Fisher House. Okay, that owns the Intrepid Museum. And the Intrepid Museum, by the way, is where Trump had one of his debates. Well, all coincidence. I did a little job for Keith Schiller one time. And I reported to you on this show when I first started talking about this, that Keith Schiller was involved in recruiting ex-NYPD cops for mercenary work with Blackwater back at the time. So was I. He's going to ruin my phone from talking about it. Okay. So, Goudreau and Silvercorp gets into this mix through an invitation by Keith Schiller. Right? By the way, Keith Schiller went on to become the White House office manager and was seen in a sweatsuit in, I think it was Baghdad or something like that, negotiating over there with them over there. Fascinating cast of characters in this story. So he had been introduced by President Trump's longtime bodyguard, Keith Schiller, through someone who worked in private security. And Schiller attended a March 2019 event at the University Club in Washington for potential donors who would support Goudreau's remember all that stuff when Venezuela was turning down humanitarian aid? Now we find out all this humanitarian aid was coming from his enemies over here. Last May, Goudreau accompanied Schiller to a meeting in Miami with representatives of Guaido. There was a lively discussion with Schiller about the need to beef up security for Goudreau. Now, it says here in this article, according to a source close to Schiller, that Schiller thought Goudreau was naive and in over his head, and he cut off all contact following the meeting. From an anonymous source, speaking on behalf of Keith Schiller. Okay, so we all know that came from Keith. Okay, no doubt about that, right? But the thing is, so now Keith's trying to extricate himself. Oh, yeah, they had these coup guys, these mercenaries. Yeah, I've been working with mercenaries in the past. Yeah, these mercenaries. Yeah, I introduced them. Okay. I introduced them. But let me tell you, shortly after introducing them and raising money with them and passing them around, and somehow getting, they got a job somehow to do security at Trump rallies, right? Keith Schiller now has a contract to do the security at the government GOP convention. But Schiller says now, they were naive, they were over their heads. So, I stopped talking to them. But somehow they get a contract working for the security for the President of the United States at his campaign rallies. Now, Schiller never spoke up about that. Said, hey, Mr. Trump, my old buddy, those guys you got working security for you over there, they're over their heads. Never said that. There's no sign of that ever happening. All right? You believe this stuff, man? Now, there's a guy named Cliver Alcala, who's the ringleader of the Venezuela military deserters. Now, he's a retired major general in Venezuela's army. Now, the problem is, though, is that he's trying to overthrow Maduro. So he must be one of the good guys, right? He must be, because, Maduro is a dictator and he's a bad guy. In Venezuela, they're socialists and the people are starving. Everybody. So this guy, Acala, if he's against Maduro, he must be a good guy. Because here he's helping these mercenaries. This guy we were talking about before, Goudreau and Silvercorp, to protect the President of the United States. They're doing all good work. But the problem is with Acala is that in 2011, he was sanctioned by the USA for allegedly supplying FARC guerrillas, which are communist guerrillas in Colombia, with surface-to-air missiles in exchange for cocaine. And last month, Acala was indicted by U.S. prosecutor alongside Maduro. So one of the guys involved in his coup attempt here, according to Bill Barr, was involved with smuggling cocaine with Maduro. What are the motives of this week's coup attempt? Was it to save the Venezuelan people from socialism? Or could there be some other motivations? Could it be the first character, Rudy Giuliani's client, who's involved with $1.2 billion in cocaine, drug money laundering? Could it be that? Oh, my God. Yeah, so there's no doubt there's photographic evidence, okay, that demonstrates that these guys from Silvercorp were tapped to safeguard Trump's assemblies in Houston, Pennsylvania. All right. I'm going to take a little commercial break. And I got to tell you, it's fascinating because, and I'll give credit to the people out there who love the Trump and believe all his nonsense. And they go on and complain about, the Russian collusion case is all made up by the media. And they'll just make up any lies to take him down. Well, here we got this with fingerprints, man, all over the place. Mr. Trump's private attorney cutting deals, trying to take out an elected president for his drug dealer client. We have his longtime bodyguard putting all these guys together, hooking up Silvercorp with Maduro, with the Guaido. We have Barr, Trump's attorney general, filing indictments, offering rewards to take down Maduro. We have other coup plotters are actually people that are under indictment as well for cocaine dealing and drug smuggling, again, too, with these bunch of gangsters and criminals and pathetically incompetent crooks. Now, if everything in the media is a lie because we all have Trump derangement syndrome, how come the U.S. media and CNN and MSNBC, how come they're not all talking about this story? And the reason is because they're capitalists, just like Mr. Trump, okay? And they want to see the socialist government of Maduro fail and be overthrown. They were all in favor of that. And seeing that money, the oil money, and not go into the hands of the people over there, but to go into the hands of these greedy, coke-dealing capitalists. We'll be right back after these messages. And now a word from our sponsors. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
Hey, check out our brand new sponsor, Dynamic Solutions 2. That's the number 2. They offer a life-changing, dynamic financial solution. The finest in fast, professional, affordable credit repair. Is your credit in bad shape? Do you need a new car? Ready to buy a new house? You want to rent an apartment? Are you going to apply for a job? Any one of these activities, they're going to ask for a credit report and then check out your credit score. Let Dynamic Solutions 2 erase your negative credit remarks. They have affordable monthly prices. They accept Visa, MasterCard, PayPal options available. You go to www.dynamicsolutions, that's the number 2.com, or call 424-888-2820. 424-888-2820. Now, if you enter promo code ED or you mention Ed Opperman, you get a 10% discount. How's that? You get a free consultation, all negative items removed, get back in positive credit position. Dynamic Solutions 2, life-changing dynamic financial solutions. 424-888-2820. Tell them Ed Opperman sent you. You get a 10% discount. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with pure soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call. 218-568-2525. 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. I am your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. And coming to you from the Aquadam Studios here in Florida, Suncoast, Bradenton, Florida. Oh boy, what a story, you know. If this would have happened, well, I guess, really, it would be covered up under any presidency because, oil crimes, drug crimes, and crimes against socialists are always covered up. So, but this is such Trump's fingerprints all over this mess. It gets a little bit better at the end here. Basically, what we're talking about is the overthrow, the attempted coup in Venezuela this week by a bunch of Trump security guards, and Trump's ex-bodyguard was involved too in putting all this together. He introduced the mercenaries that were in the boats to Guaido, the guy who's trying to overthrow the government in Venezuela. Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. This will go in the history books. By the way, everything I'm telling you here right now, okay, this is the first place and maybe the last place you'll ever hear this story all put together, where all these dots are connected all the way from Rudy Giuliani having the dope smuggling, money laundering client, the Venezuelan client, and then trying to negotiate with Maduro, and then Barr doing the indictments, and then Schiller putting together the cronies of the security guys with Guaido, and then the Silva Corp, the same guys getting the contract to do Trump security at his rallies. All of these are stories that are in different places. This is the only place you're going to hear what's all put together. And there's one more part here, and this you won't find anywhere because it's in Spanish. Now, one of the guys who was picked up in this operation was a DEA agent, okay? And when they capture him, he starts talking. I got a video of this guy ratting out all his comrades over there, his fellow coup d'etats, right? And what he says he does is he says, well, they asked me to create chaos in various popular areas of Caracas. He's talking about Caracas, Venezuela. They asked me to contact drug traffickers under threat from the DEA to collaborate in this process, adding that he hired the PRON, chief of criminals from Patre, to create an alleged confrontation between gangs with weapons of war without any casualties. Now, for Maduro, this testimony would confirm that the DEA was the operational and logistical part of this conspiracy through the drug cartels in Colombia and Venezuela. For this reason, the president ordered the Interior Ministry to investigate all the elements granted by Papero in his confessions. He has declared, now we're talking about this DEA agent, Jose Alberto Socorro Hernandez, his alias is Papero. He has declared that, and more. He gives specific names. There are many elements declared by him and his accomplices, including alleged businessmen who have mansions, yachts, but are not businessmen at all. They are drug traffickers, and the DEA protects them from drug trafficking routes. They put trucks, money, they are direct accomplices. Everyone knew it, what it was for, said the president, Maduro. Now, what they're trying to say here is one of these mercenaries, these coup guys, was a DEA agent. Okay, and the United States press is saying he's a retired DEA agent. Maduro says no. And the guy himself says no. Okay? And he says, well, what we did was, my role in this was to create an armed conflict between the drug gangs in Caracas, Venezuela, to distract the local police and the army and all that stuff like that, where there's gunfire going off, but there's no dead bodies. There was a firefight that went off with military-grade weapons, but no bodies were found. Not one single death. So his role in this operation, the DEA, okay, on behalf of drug smugglers, money launderers, okay, and Trump bodyguards, was to create a distraction under, oh my God, under whose orders? Well, who do all these people work for? Who does Giuliani work for? Who does Bill Barr work for? Who does Keith Schiller work for? And who does Silvercorp work for? You tell me. Do I have something wrong here? Did I make a mistake? Am I confused? I don't think so. But, Ed, you just hate Mr. Trump. Yeah, Ed, it's blinding you. Oh, yeah, Trump's going to rescue all the pedophiles. He's going to round them all up. That's what's going to happen. He's going to save us from these drug smugglers. He's going to build a wall to save us from the drug smugglers. Well, I'm out of material to give you tonight. I think it's a good show. We've got a lot of great content coming up. I really need sponsors. Okay, we got a problem. With all this shutdown and stuff like that, a couple of my big sponsors I haven't been paying. So I really need some support over here, guys, if you can help out. Really. And I got a whole big beef going on, too, with my landlord back in Vegas. They're trying to say I never gave them notice, and they were trying to build me like 2 more months' rent. So I got a whole beef with them going on now. Those bastards, man. Just incompetent disaster of a management company over there. One thing after another with those people. So, I don't know. Can you sponsor? You want to send a donation? We'll take that too. I'll never turn it down. By the way, too, it's interesting. Last week, that show I did about the Out of the Shadow, that wasn't even a show that like right now, this show here probably won't play on AM/FM radio. It just goes on the internet. And that one last week only went on the internet and got more response from that one than I have in a long, long time. So keep an eye out for me this week. Being interviewed by Sean Atwood. I'm doing an interview with that woman who wrote that book, The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. And a bunch of other stuff. A lot of good stuff coming up. Keep an eye out. Good night. And now a word from our sponsors. OppermanReport.com. Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Do you like the work that you see us doing here at Opperman Report? You can support that work by becoming a member at OppermanReport.com. And as you have access to over 200 exclusive shows and interviews that you can't find on YouTube or Spreaker or iHeart or iTunes or KYAH. You can't find them anywhere else online, exclusive to our member sections, to our members. Also, too, there's images, videos, documents, court docs. And don't forget, you can hear your ad played here on the Opperman Report, reach hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis because the show is repeated every day all over the world. Contact me at oppermanreport@gmail.com and I'll give you a good deal on advertising rates.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
Aquadam.net. Give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, having to deal with the insurance company, not to mention the memories that are lost that you can never replace. To those who live in flood-prone and hurricane-prone areas, which is just around the corner, prepare now. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Visit Aquadam.net to see how they can help you prepare to avoid flood damage this season and every season thereafter. An Aquadam could be another tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. A cofferdam, using water to control water, that can protect your home, your business, your church, your neighborhood, like a dam, but without the beavers. Give Aquadam a call at 707-764-2119, 707-764-2119, or look them up online at aquadam.net. They're also on Facebook at Aquadam Inc., or call or email them today. They can help you out. Give them a call. Tell them Opperman Report sent you. Opperman Report. That's 10% off the price to anyone who mentions the Opperman Report.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with pure soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.